What is up, guys? Zan here with subscriber tip number 4. Today we are going to tackle how to absolutely shut down the gun split close, whether that's the New England offense, the Miami offense. You guys have seen me face it so many times. Basically what it comes down to is unless you are a innovator of the offense, whether it be split close or tight offset tight end or bunch weak, unless you're like one of the premier runners of this, you will be able to shut down like 95% of people that are going to run this offense, this split close. And we're going to show you how to do this out of the 3-4 bear. Now, keep in mind, we are in practice mode here. So there are a couple things that I want to emphasize. Obviously, we don't have pass rush elites here. If you guys watch me on stream right now, I've shifted my 3-4 bear into a pass rush elite defense where I have the outside linebacker on both sides with pass rush elite. And I also have this nose tackle right here with pass rush elite. We'll be able to get Aaron Donald with that here for this video, but outside of that, the edge rush is not really going to apply anything. So we'll do contained setups here rather than rush setups. The other thing is we do use kind of coverage outside linebackers like Keith Bullock and Fred Warner in these spots. So, we will be dropping those guys rather than bigger, fatter defensive tackle type defensive end for 3-4 types. So just kind of keep those things in mind as we roll through this video. The other thing is obviously with lower ratings at the cover spots on the field, you may not see the exact same results that you see in practice mode that you will in MUT or in your CFM or, those types of modes, salary cap, for instance. So kind of keep that in mind as well. But we're going to be able to show you pretty darn close in practice mode to what we actually see on stream. If you guys watch me on stream, if I face split close, you better be like, one of the best at running split close. Like there's not too many people that actually move the ball running split close on me. The same can be said for tight offset, tight end, bunch, basically any compression set. I think, in fact, you guys may have watched just yesterday, I want to say on the 326 stream, give or take the 1 hour mark, I faced somebody who was running like a compression near far set that's very similar to split close Miami. If you guys watch this video, go back and watch that video, because we actually get another follower here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm actually not sorry. Thank you for supporting the channel. But we actually are facing a near or far compression offense, and I defend that the same way I'm going to show you here in this video. So again, go back and watch the March 26th stream. Give or take around the hour mark, I'm playing a player who was in Ravens uniforms, all black uniforms. It's actually a pretty good offense he's running, and you see how I defended it, and it was completely bagged. It's principles of how I defend tight offset tight end. If you guys have sub tip number 1, and what I did in that game is what I'm going to show you here in this one. So let's go ahead and get into it. The play that we defend the split close out of is pinch dog 3, and I always make sure that when I'm running it, I run it so that way we're going to take auto flip off here. You're running it so the hook zone is on the short side of the field, always on the short side of the field. So pay attention to what hash mark they are on. So I'm going to put the ball on the left hash mark, but if you guys want to check, if you actually look on the play call menu, a lot of people don't know this. You can see what hash the ball is on by looking at the hash marks on your play call screen. So you see right now it says the ball is spotted in between the hash marks. If it were on the left, you would see that the left hash mark would be splitting the defense. So we'll go ahead and show you this. As far as what we're going to be showing you how to shut down, it's going to be your X drag trail, power O, halfback wheel, PAY shot, your basic vanilla weekend league split close scheme that people like to run. Obviously there are going to be holes in any defense. It's the people that are smart, know how to read fields, that are able to exploit them. But this is not the case for like 95% of players you're going to face that are running split close. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off here. We'll start off in Y shot. That's everyone's probably hardest to stop play. Pinch dog 3. You want this with the yellow zone to the solo receiver side. And we're going to go ahead and move the ball back here. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about philosophy for this defense. If you guys go back to sub tip number 1, we talked about how base aligning a cover 3 match defense or a cover 3 rush and then pressing, not blitzing. So those outside thirds line up outside leverage and pressed is going to take away corner routes. That's our general rule of thumb. Now, as far as defending this set, what I like to do is I like to take both the user and the other safety and I put them in quarter zones. They're in inside quarter zones. What this is going to do is this is going to take away any inside pass leads. So if I were to put this guy into a deep half, for instance, and I was lurking low, an inside pass lead to number 86 down the seam might be viable, because what would end up happening is we could have a corner route or whatever, and then you might get that inside pass lead, roll out left and throw an inside pass lead to the guy running down the seam. So I like inside quarters over deep halves. There are situations where I do like deep halves, and we'll talk about that here in this video as well. Now, as far as what I do with the rest of this, I like to go ahead and take, if I suspect a hitch, I will put one of the defensive ends on the hitch side that I expect into a vertical hook, and then I will spy the other one. And then this is where, if you have pass rush elite, you're going to let these guys eat. So you're just going to let them rush. If you don't, you're going to contain, just to make sure that they have trouble rolling out. So you're either going to let them eat or you're going to contain. This is a 3-man rush, and all 3 players should have pass rush elite. You want Fowler to have pass rush elite, you want Donald to have pass rush elite, and you want Ebukam to have pass rush elite. If you can't afford it, you're playing salary cap, you want pass rush elite on Donald, and you're going to contain. So that's for your salary cap guys out there. That's how you're going to go ahead and do it. Now, as far as defending route combinations, let's first start off with what everyone loves to do, and that is going to be the PAY shot. A lot of players will do something like this, where they will streak the inside tight end and motion slant the B receiver. Here is the general rule of thumb when facing Y shot. You have to worry about the solo crosser only. The solo crosser only. It does not matter if they let A run his crossing route. In fact, I'll try to sub in a receiver here at that spot shortly. It does not matter if A runs his route, because what ends up happening is the base aligned pressed outside third, Hill, will take care of it. Now, again, this is where in practice mode, you probably don't have, you're not going to see the results nearly as well as you will in game, or as you guys have watched me on stream. You guys have seen that route gets picked off all the time. So let's go ahead and start this off by trying to show you what I mean here. I'm going to click off, and I'm just going to sit on Donald. And I want to kind of show, I'm actually just going to spy the rush. I'm not going to pass rush at all right here. I kind of want to show what I mean. You have to take Snead, because what ends up happening is Brown running that streak is going to pull both the inside quarter and the outside third on the right away, and Snead will be open. But on the left, Boyle should be covered, at least be in a spot where you can click on. So you can see right here exactly what I mean. You see how the outside third is like right there on that left side? Now, obviously, X was open the entire way. So that is what we're looking at here on the general rule of thumb for the PAY shot. You see right here, this is where, you know, my Night Train Lane or Byron Jones or Tre'Davious White or Deion Sanders or Rod Woodson or whoever you guys want to use. This is an easy click on. If they go to throw this, I can promise you, you will click on and you will pick this off. It looks like it's open, but it's really not. You will click on, run down, pick it off down the sideline. I've had over 100 pick sixes on this throw this year. It's really not a throw you ever have to worry about. So the twin side crosser, you never, ever, ever have to worry about. We'll talk about one situation where you will have to worry about them here shortly, but you never have to worry about them if they do not have a motion of the running back to that side. We'll talk about that here shortly. Now, you do have to, on the other hand, use the solo crosser. So we're going to go back and set this up again. Very, very easy setup. We're done. We're set up. So we've got this all set up. And now here in this example, I'm going to go ahead and run the same route combination, but this time I'm going to lurk. I'm going to use a lurk. So here's your route combo. You go to the snap. You have to take X the whole way. He's yours. You see how everything else is covered on this play? So many people love to max protect. That's why I like the contain defense. That's why I like to use the pass rush elites. Collapse that pocket around them. If they want to run 3 routes, make them pay for it. That is how you defend PAY shots. Super, super easy to defend. Now, the one thing people will start to do against PAY shot is they will start to go to a setup that looks like this. They will start to motion out one of their running backs and put him on a streak. And what they're doing here with this is they're going to make it so that way that outside third on the left cannot defend the crosser to A. So in this situation, now you've got a pull route on both sides. They're basically in a tight flex look. They've got a pull route on both sides, and you have to defend one or the other to guard. So we'll show you here what I mean by that. So now this situation, you could use her. So just imagine right here, I'll just to simulate this, I'm going to go ahead and put Roby Coleman on man coverage on Snead to simulate me using him with my user defender. But you're gonna see that Boyle is gonna be open. So you see right here how Boyle is gonna get, actually he got matched right there. He actually got matched by Lawler off the line. Actually right there, I think what I did was I put, let me double check what that assignment was. And a D-end is gonna have trouble running with a D-end should have trouble. Oh, he was in a vertical hook. So that's what I talk about with the vertical hook. These vertical hooks do I wasn't expecting to have to break this down here in this video, but we'll talk about it. Vertical hooks now, in this setup, you may have noticed that I have Keith Bullock and Fred Warner, both who are like 90 speed and really high man and zone. I drop these guys frequently into vertical hooks, and they'll go out and just match routes. I mean, you can see right here, this actually got bagged by the vertical hook. So what you could do is if you start to notice that they are going to the motion of the running back to that left side to try to serve as a pull route, go ahead and put the guy on the tight end side on a vertical hook, because that will go ahead and take that slot receiver and match him across the field. Now, obviously a Fred Warner against, a receiver is going to be okay. That should work for you. Right here in this example, this is a comparable speed with Lawler versus Boyle. I do want to make sure that I get a wide receiver out there, but for the purpose of teaching, I think I'm going to leave it alone here for right now, just because it's a comparable speed thing. And obviously in MUT, you guys have got a ton of speed. So, it shouldn't be an issue, but we'll go ahead and show that again. So if you notice that they go to a motion of the running back out of the backfield to serve as a pull route, make sure that the guy on the tight end side, the two receiver side, as we'll call it, is on a vertical hook, because what that will do is that will help with him matching that route across the field. So we'll do this again here. So you notice how Lawler is going to get up, he's going to turn, he's going to run with that route. See how he smothers that crossing route? You're not going to be able to throw that ball very easily. So that's easy. And for me, that's Fred Warner, that's Keith Bullock. They've got really high awareness, play recognition, stuff like that. So if this bum guy Lawler is making this play, you're going to be just fine with Keith Bullock. So that's how you defend the motion out version of this play. So now let's go ahead and transition into, your other stuff. This is going to be, let's go ahead and talk about Power O. Power O is interesting because there are games where I completely shut it down. There are games where it works really, really well. What I like to do with this is a lot of times if I'm facing Power O, I will either spread my linebackers or pinch my linebackers, one of the two. So right here, for instance, what we may see is a lot of times this purple zone, this pink zone, Hager, is the one that makes this play. But if I see Power O, I just fly down to this B gap. And you see how everything's just kind of like, it looks like there's a box to run to, but everything kind of collapses on the run. And it's because of this pink zone that scrapes around and sets an edge. So you see right here, watch how this guy right here, even though he doesn't attack straight downhill, he gets around. And you see how that pulling guard targets him and completely screws up the running lanes. You see how the outside linebacker sheds. You've got a wall of defenders right here out of this bare front. So running the Power O into this front is not so easy. The majority of the time. There is, like I said, the occasional game where somebody is able to pop it on me a couple times. But again, all you're doing with this setup is you're doing the same thing and you're just spreading your linebackers. And then again, you can do the same coverage things. I mean, this is the defense, right? And then they check into that Power O, they run it, you're plugging, run side A gap. You see they're running and having to fall forward for 4 yards there. They have to get a good animation to fall forward for even four or 5 yards. So Power O is pretty well plugged with the same setup. Now drag trail, this is where things start to get a little bit interesting. Drag trail is one that I really think is fun to defend, because what you can end up doing is really bait them with this play. So again, with the same setup, what you're going to notice on drag trail is that, and I'm just going to max protect here. What they end up doing is they think that they're going to be able to throw the flat post to 86. And if that's guarded, that the B tight end will just be, or the B receiver will be wide open. But again, because we baseline and pressed our third, we could trust that Troy Hill will take A, just like he does in the PAY shot. You can let that flat post run. If you see them both release off the line, let A go. You're going to go ahead and drop back to this route. You see how Troy Hill was there? If he goes to throw that flat post to A, you click on and you make that play with Troy Hill. Super easy pick. So you see right here, watch how this guy right here. So if he goes to throw this ball, you're even closer to this throw now than you were on the PAY shot. And see, with your user, you just drop back with this skinny post. Super easy. This is all you right here. Now, obviously underneath the drag is something that they can throw. This is why I like to have, uh, Devin Bush or, you know, Patrick Willis, somebody that can lay some lumber out here, because you click on rally down and make a hit stick or just, you know, form tackle. Most people aren't patient enough to take a drag over and over and over. But you can see here with the same setup, this setup is also bagged. So you're going to be able to, you know, shut down that setup as well. Now let's go ahead and move on to halfback wheel. Halfback wheel is a lot of fun. Halfback wheel is, I mean, everybody loves halfback wheel. You guys know how this goes. Excuse me. You know, there's a couple setups for halfback wheel. A lot of players will go with, you know, for instance, they may go with something like, let me go ahead and make some adjustments here, do the same setups. And if you notice when you spread your linebackers, go ahead and move your linebackers out manually. One thing a lot of people will do is they'll try to do the cut block rollout thing. If you move these guys wide enough and they have pass rush elite, they can't actually put the ID the mic on them. That's just a little pro tip within the pro tip here. That'll make it so they can't cut block those guys. And it's also really hard to obviously run the power O against this look too. So again, same setup. Notice that you got the vertical hook on this play. I'm just going to go ahead and like try to max protect right here. And you should notice that Hager is now running man-to-man with that corner route. So again, Hager is a goon, man. Or not Hager, Lawler is a goon, man. He's just those vertical hooks match corner routes. They match crossing routes. They're pretty insane in this game. So I absolutely love this new revelation of these vertical hooks off the line. Now that we've got some really stud cover outside linebackers that aren't necessarily pass rushers. I'm running Keith Bulluck here. I'm running Fred Warner here right now. So, and they just play insane. They play literally insane. So even in a situation where your opponent is trying to be really annoying and run a runoff route here, that's designed to pull the outside third, you've got a vertical hook that's going to bag that route. So, you know, obviously Lawler is slow. Keep that in mind. Fred Warner is not. Keep that in mind. So you've got a layer of protection against this rollout corner that even if they try to pull this outside third away, because this outside third, as you guys know, will pick off that corner route at will, as long as 15 doesn't run a vertical route. I'll go ahead and show that to you here right now. So, you know, they run this setup or whatever. We'll go ahead and run this defense. We're all set up with the guy on the vertical hook. Now, let's say that in this example, we check to the halfback wheel or whatever. Let's just say for whatever reason, Brown gets motioned across the formation. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out something that could get that job done. You're going to see that obviously the outside third is going to bag Boyle right here. So watch how Ramsey is just going to be like, oh, hey, we actually got pass rush elite, and that further proves the point of the defense. A lot of times you don't even have time to throw these. So go ahead and do this again. So we got this all set up. I'm not going to motion 15 this time. Put halfback wheel on the field. Block. Let's just say for whatever reason we run it like this, right? So you see how Ramsey's like right there? You got to throw that. Ramsey just like latches on. That's a click on pick too. So, you know, halfback wheel's really not even that good in my opinion. People like it still because it's got nostalgia behind it. I think it's absolutely trash, but you know, people will still call it. But you know, you see obviously the outside third's there, and if they try to run the runoff zone, we'll go ahead and show you again here. So again, if they put 15 on they're sick of Ramsey poaching that route or whatever, they decide to streak Hollywood Brown to try to open that route and do a rollout. You know, obviously now you've got the vertical hook that's going to play match coverage on that. So we'll go ahead and show you what I mean here. Again, if they're doing the rollout thing on you, like I said, just move these guys wide. You know, when I go to do the ID the mic, you actually can you can put the ID the mic on him. Let me see if I go out a little bit wider with him here and see where it stops here. The ID the mic is good, but as far as the double teaming, they can't put the double team on him either. So so now we're you know, obviously if they do the runoff, watch how Lawler runs with the corner route. See how he's there. Like obviously Lawler got his hands on it right there. We actually got a pick off of it. So you know, you're not gonna be able to like stop those or run those routes with a pull route just because that vertical hook off the line is going to take it away. So what else do we have here? Trying to think of other unique things people might do. There are going to be people who try to set up skinny posts. Like if they know you're running quarter zones, they're going to try to like set up skinny post bombs. So let me think of one here. Like for instance, drag trail, pretty easy, right? there are ways that you can bait. What I like to do is when somebody's running skinny posts, I will take a corner out myself and drop an outside guy into a half. So like if we go back to X drag trail, for instance, let's say that for one reason or another, they're making it tough on you. I'm trying to, I really just don't struggle with them. So it's hard for me to recall in my head. I'm trying to be honest with you guys here. So, you know, let's say for whatever reason, your outside third is not making the play on 86. We talked about this on X drag trail, right? Where 86 gets covered, but let's say for whatever reason or another, they're just not, right? Maybe it's because they're running they wouldn't run a streak because it's going to run the skinny post. Honestly, I'm having trouble figuring out how to beat this because it's such a damn good defense is what I'm saying. But let's say for whatever reason, for S's and G's, that Hill is not making the play, right? He's not defending Boyle. And now all of a sudden you have to come off the skinny post to take Boyle yourself. Just invert Hill. He's going to get back and play that deep post. Now when they snap the ball, you know, you can play this post. There is no post here. I'm not sure what A did there on that play, but he didn't run a route. But let's try it again here. X drag trail, max protect. So again here, you just put the guy on the side that the skinny post is running into. You put him into a deep half, and now you can go ahead and if that post route to A is giving you trouble, you take it. Now the guy in the deep half takes the skinny post. You can kind of swap that out, right? Like that's an easy bait. Like if you got the computer taking the low route and you're taking the high route, just invert your coverage and you could take the low route and bait them into throwing the high route. I've gotten picks that way before too. But yeah, guys, in general, that's like how you defend split close. I mean, it's really, really hard to move the ball out of split close on this defense. I mean, it's really hard to move the ball out of any passing formation on this defense. Next week, guys, we're going to be talking about bunch, how I like to, you know, have a philosophy against bunch. But this is the stopping split close out of 3-4 Bears seminar coming up on about 22 minutes and 30 seconds. Just want to say, guys, thank you so much again for the support on the channel. You guys have been awesome. I think we're pushing 600 subscribers right now. I could not do what I get to do for a living without you guys. Love you guys. Really appreciate all the support. And I'm really looking forward to the future. If this is what we're building together here late in Madden 20, I can't wait to see what happens in the future. All right, guys, we'll talk to you guys in the stream, and I'll see you guys next week with our next sub tip. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.